I just finished building what I think is the perfect base on Enshrouded. It was actually supposed to be a build guide, but it got so intricate and I had to keep stopping and starting to get more resources that the thought of breaking it all down now to make it again is kind of soul destroying. But I still wanted to show it off and give it sort of the light of day that I think it deserves, because I just love how this build turned out and I just want to show it off to other people who like these kind of builds and content. But yeah, I just wanted to give this some love by showing it off. I built this in the Kindle Waste. It looks south to the ancient spire of the Kindle Wastes, and this is what it looks like from the outside. Now, it doesn't look like too much from this spot, but it's based on sort of ancient Roman architecture, has some sort of inspiration from that, which is really subtle from the outside, sort of based in the desert. And then let me show you inside now. So I built this base fully with the polished stone and the red tile bricks. This first area is what I sort of envisioned to be like a communal area, so it's close to the only entrance and exit. And this is sort of where I imagine people would sort of wait around. This is where people would be visiting. You know, they maybe wait to before they're allowed access into the main compound. And it's just sort of, it's kind of nice, but it's not like all the nicest stuff, because again, I imagine it to be a communal area. You don't want all your nicest things to be in a communal area where anyone can just come in and use it as they please. But of course, we do have a jug and some glasses. The water's free. Help yourself, guys. Under the stairs, we've got this sort of bathroom. Like I said, this is a little communal area, so it's not the nicest stuff. I've put all the crude wood set in here. We've got the firefly lamp up top. And yeah, we've got the crude bathtub. We've got the crude sink here, sorry. And also the crude wood toilet. Coming out now, and we can turn right and go up the stairs. And this is sort of what I imagine to be like the groundskeeper's room, or, you know, like the gatekeeper. Someone who's just making sure that no one's coming in and out of the compound that shouldn't be here. Realistically, this is going to be your duo's bed when he comes into your world to play co-op. But, you know, a little bit of imagination never hurt anyone. So we've got all the polished wood stuff, but I think it still looks pretty nice. We've got this wolf painting on the wall, my second favourite painting of all the ones that are offered. And then at the side, we've got all these sort of old books on the polished wooden bookshelf. I'd actually love how all these books look, but this is the only ones I've actually been able to craft, because I didn't dismantle too many books when I was out exploring and playing through the game. And I just don't really want to go back and farm them all now. It seems a bit pointless. We've got the fireplace in the corner for warmth, for your comfort. And we also got this little workbench here. So outside, we've got this sort of upper floor view of the Kindle Wastes now, looking down onto the ancient spire and everything else. Nice little drake over there. Hopefully he doesn't come over and bother us as I'm recording. Looks like he might be. Yep, he most definitely is. So let's deal with him quickly. Look at that. Couldn't have timed that any better. Get him looted up. Okay, now this balcony does actually wrap around to the other side, but I want the first view to be from downstairs, so I don't want to show it off from that angle. I do actually have a bench around there as well, which sort of just looks out into the barren landscape around it. But let's go back in and I'll show you the main compound downstairs, which is the exciting part. So you're finally granted access into the compound. You open the door and this is what you see. Now, I just love how this turned out. Like, to me, I don't know too much about how ancient Roman civilizations existed, but this sort of idea of this barren landscape outside, you come inside and you have like all this best of technology. It kind of just is what I imagine it would have been like. So you come in, you see, you know, this green grass, you've got, you know, all this technology, and it just seems to feel right to me. I just think it looks so good. So before we actually go around the garden, I want to just take you around the build. So let's go and do that. So the first one you come into is the blacksmith. He's just stood outside of his little booth here. And inside his booth, he has the forge, I think it is called. He has a kiln on either side of the storage. He's got a little tool set up top. And he has two smelters on the right hand side. Now, I have a few booths and each one of them has storage. They have 6 huge chests, well, technically 5 huge chests and 1 magic huge chest, which is probably overkill, but I just like the way these ones look, and maybe as the game progresses I'll need more and more storage, who knows. These 6 are actually fairly well used, but around the rest of the build, they're basically just for show at this stage. So if you're wondering why I need so much storage, the answer is I don't. But anyway, moving on to the next booth, we have the carpenter. It made sense for me to put the carpenter and the blacksmith on the same side because they're kind of, they're similar trades, I guess. Maybe not, but in my mind, they're close enough. So we've got 2 kilns on the left. We've got the other workbench for repairing your gear. His masonry tools up top. And we have 2 table saws on the right-hand side. And I found 2 of each crafting station to be more than enough for what I need as a solo player. But there's definitely enough space here to add more in if you want to. As you can tell probably from this build and my other builds, I like straight lines and I like everything to feel like it has its exact place. Everything's where it should be. I remember I had a comment a few months ago, someone told me I should try and get a little bit more disorderly because I might surprise myself. But honestly, I like it like this. I like straight lines. And the fact that Enshrouded has a voxel system which basically only employs straight lines, it's nice to me, honestly. Here we've got the flame altar in the middle. I actually only needed to upgrade this flame altar by 1 level in order to get an area large enough to make this base. I will probably upgrade this at some point, but I don't really need to at this stage, and I don't really see why I would bother. Again, like I said, it was supposed to be for a build guide, so I wanted something that you didn't have to spend too much, I say too much materials, I mean just too much shroud cores in order to upgrade the base, because I'm well aware that this may not be your only base. However, it didn't really work out like that because obviously I used a lot of resources to build this. But anyway, we've got the 2 beehives here. We've got some seed beds over here, 3 in a row that I don't really use, to be honest. But the ones I do use are over here next to Emily, who's just stood in the corner here under this very exquisite column, which did actually used to just be a column similar to these ones here, until I realised that Emily needs to be sheltered in order to make some of her foods. I realised that as long as she has a block above her head, that's enough. So I built this sort of weird curving column which just comes over Emily's head like that. I also did the same on the other side, just, symmetry. That's the aim of the game. And yeah, we've just got a couple of more seed beds and the improved well in the corner. And then these chests are obviously not the huge chests. They're, I think, 1 less than the huge chest. They might just be medium chests, honestly. But the fact that they look like a little bit weathered just kind of makes sense to what they would actually look like if, wooden chests like this were just left outside constantly. So I decided not to upgrade these 2 huge chests. I just like them as they are. And I think they just look pretty good like this. So on the, I guess, what would be the east side of the build. Sorry, standing in front of the hunter there. The hunter has 2 booths. I kind of think the hunter has like these 2 sides to her. So she's got like this fabric making side, which is this side on the right. So here we've got 2 looms. We've got a spinning wheel and obviously just some storage. There's also a drying rack in the corner, but that's just because I could fit it in and I had to spare one. But never mind about that. And then on the other booth, we have what I think is like her hunting side. So she's got like 2 drying racks here, 2 tanning stations, 1 on each side. And this is all the stuff like animal fur. This is where you get like the dried fur and, all that sort of stuff. All the trophies that from killing bosses, all the twigs for arrows. These are all inside this bit here. And then last but not least, we have the alchemist booth. Now, this is probably my favorite one, honestly, but I think it's just because all of the alchemist workstations are so interesting. Like this laboratory here just looks so much more interesting than, I don't know, say like the kiln for the blacksmith. He's got another drying rack, not that he needs one, but again, I had to spare one, so why not put it there. Black cauldron and mortar up top. We've got one of these nice floor lanterns for the illumination +5 comfort, grinding stones, and whatever you call this, an alchemy station. So yeah, we've gone around all the craftspeople's booths. Now, if Enshrouded decides to release more content and there's more craftspeople, I'm going to be in a world of trouble. Maybe I can build another one on this side and on the other side. But after that, I'm going to be struggling for where to put them. Okay, so obviously we've got this 2-floor building. I'm going to start on the bottom because to me that seems logical. And on the left-hand side, we've got our little bathroom area. So this is like what would be the nicer bathroom in my eyes. We've got the copper bathtub linked up with the stone shower, stone sink, and the stone bench, and this little carpet, which I always call the fancy carpet. Now, this is obviously required for comfort, but the way this looks in here, this is sort of where I imagine you'd be getting changed, putting on and off clothes. And we all know that the Romans were not afraid to get naked, so the fact that there's no door here shouldn't bother them at all. On the opposite side of the building, we've got the little kitchen area. So we've got two cauldrons, or I think this game calls them fireplaces. This one cooks my meat. This one cooks my vegetables and mushrooms. And of course, two ovens built into the middle. Some workstations with some dinnerware. And then I've just kind of placed down a couple of stone benches on the bottom of the structure, because I think the stone benches actually fit in really well to like this ancient Roman feel. They have like obviously the stone, and then the red blanket across the top kind of ties in with the roof tiles. I don't know, they do in my mind anyway. And before we go upstairs, I'll just show you the back of the building here. This is my sort of agriculture area. So we've got 4 plots, which I don't really need to be using right now. So I've just decided to put in some colourful plants. So we've got flax, we've got the indigo plant. I don't actually know what this is called. It's yellow though, looks all right. And the bell pepper plant. We've got a couple of smaller chests here. This is where I sort of keep my seedlings, or if I harvest anything, I'll just put them in here if I can't be bothered putting them away. And over on the left-hand side, we have this sort of hidden room. And I purposely placed the door here sort of close to this wall so that you couldn't really see into it. And this is because we have the stone toilet here. Now, I actually needed somewhere to put the stone toilet for the maximum comfort, and I wanted to place it somewhere that made sense. To me, it didn't make sense to just place down the stone toilet in the other bathroom, because firstly, there wasn't really anywhere that worked for having it the way that I wanted it to look. And yeah, I think it just makes more sense having it like more secluded than the open door of the bathroom. I think maybe you wouldn't be too fussed getting in and out of the shower, but you know, if you're in here trying to use the toilet, maybe you don't want, you know, people walking past and looking in. Another stone sink, because you got to wash your hands, obviously. And on the opposite side, we have another little room where the door isn't placed right towards the end because it's not so secretive. This is just like a little store area. So got a couple of wooden barrels, a couple of wooden crates. These are actually wooden fences, which I used for my very first build, but they didn't really give the same effect as I wanted. So I always just had these, didn't have anywhere to use them. But I think they look really good in the storage, just sort of stacked up against the wall there like that. Got some shelves and some more of the clay dishes. Well, not some more, just some clay dishes. I don't use these anywhere else in the build, I don't think. And this is the palmwood side table with some extra dishes on the top. Now, I'm not going to say this is like my favorite room, because obviously I love other parts of this build way more, but I think this looks like such a natural storage room to me. Like, I feel like I did a pretty nice job of putting things in here that make it look like a store. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I'm being biased, but I like how it looks anyway. Okay, back into the structure. I'm going to take you out and around the left here and up the stairs. So up the stairs, you get this balcony view of the plots down below, just because it looks nice, and you know, balconies are always cool. And then we've got this top floor room with the brazier open, sort of looking over the garden beneath. And on the left, we've got what I think is like the nice bedroom. So this is where my bedroom would be. This is all the palmwood set, which is the highest comfort available in the game. Got a palmwood bed, got a nice furry rug underneath, palmwood side table and candle. And then this is my favourite painting in the game. So this is a little boar. It just reminds me of Valheim really, because, I don't know, there's boars in Valheim, but I don't know, it's something about the colours and stuff, it just reminds me of Valheim. So it's a little thing that ties me back to my roots of starting this YouTube channel really. And yeah, I like the look of it. So this is my favourite wall decoration, and it's always what I go for next to my bed. Got a palmwood table and chair next to the window here with an open book and the clay lamp. And on the opposite side, we've got the palmwood banquet table with some polished wooden chairs around, and the sand throne here, which again, obviously this would be my seat as the king of the house. And how I sort of imagine this is like, we'd have maybe a couple of visitors talking deals, you know, trying to make me some offerings. Maybe have a bodyguard by the door, bodyguard just behind me to make sure nothing kicks off. A little bit of support, you know. But realistically, again, these are just placed down for the comfort level, really. But yeah, This is my base. I'm so happy with how it turned out. It's probably like my favorite base that I've built. Not just on Enshrouded, but maybe ever. I don't know. Maybe not ever. I feel like that's like a push, but in a long time, this is my favorite build. You're starting to get an idea of what it looks like at night now. And hopefully you just like this build as much as I did, because I really just wanted to show it off because I was kind of proud of it, really, honestly. And yeah, if you like the video, please do leave it a like, subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this, or just sort of building content in general. I do also share tip style videos for survival craft games. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.